Well, good morning. Good Monday morning to you. Wake up. It's time to get going. It's a new week. Let me start with the question. Maybe this will help. It's kind of a strange question to start a Monday morning off with, but I'll ask it anyway. What is an idol? Have you thought about that before? It's probably not something we think about a lot. What is an idol? Just think about that. I think when I think of an idol, I think of a little statue that I would bow down to and worship or something like that. That's what comes to mind when I think of idol. But is that the only thing an idol is? Is that all it is? Probably none of us would bow to any statue that we have in our home or around our home. That feels archaic, that feels pagan, that feels outside of the world we live in. And so the question that I want us to hit and think about is what is an idol, right? The question for the Catechism that we're looking at this morning helps level the field for us and bring us all in, whether we think about an idol or not, it brings us all into thinking about this topic. And so here's the question: what is idolatry? Shifts it a little bit from idol to idolatry. What is idolatry? And here's the answer. Idolatry is trusting in created things rather than the Creator for our hope and happiness, significance, and security. Now that levels the field, doesn't it? It puts us all on the same page of thinking about the question, what is idolatry and what is that in my life? Paul says in Romans chapter 1, he says, "For although they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him, but they became futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened." He moves forward. "They exchanged the truth about God for a lie and worshiped and served the creature rather than the Creator." I think that's a helpful way to think about what idolatry is, that you're exchanging the truth for a lie and you've begun to worship the created thing rather than the Creator. And the answer that's given for the Catechism, I think, gives us 4 categories to think through: hope, happiness, significance, and security. What if you thought about idolatry, your own idolatry, my idolatry? What if we thought about it in those categories? What brings me hope? I think I could probably come up with some things that are idols of mine. What brings me happiness? I've thought a lot about that with time at home alone and just wanting something to bring some fulfillment. What brings me happiness? I think that would help us in this question of idolatry. What brings significance? What gives you a sense of significance? And then the final category, what's a sense of security for you? What is that for you? Now, think about those categories and maybe even write those down and come up with some ways that you lean toward those different things in a sense of hope and happiness and significance and security. And then, can we think about the beauty of the gospel in relation to all of those? That Jesus answers all of our longings for hope. And he answers all of our longings for happiness. And he answers all of our longings for significance and security. Jesus answers those things. And so this morning, would you spend some time confessing where you've put your hope and where you've leaned on things for happiness and where you've looked for significance and security, and you confess those for what they are. It's idolatry. It's a lie. It's worshiping the worship of something that you've created, you've put up as your own significance or happiness or hope or security. And as you confess those things this morning, remember that in 1 John, we're promised that if we confess our sins, God is faithful to forgive. He's faithful to forgive because of what Jesus has already done. You have a forgiving Creator. It's a beautiful thing to rest in. So here's the question again and answer. What is idolatry? The answer is idolatry is trusting in created things rather than the Creator for our hope and happiness, significance, and security.